Hi there, it's Asia. Which IELTS test is easier, computer-based or paper-based? I've taken both, and in this video I'd like to talk about each section and compare the advantages and disadvantages of each format to help you choose the right test for you. Okay, let's get started. And the very first factor that may to a great extent determine which test you take is what tests are available where you live. If you go to the IELTS.com website, you can see all the test centers in your country and city. For example, in Almaty, my hometown and the largest city in Kazakhstan, both formats are available. However, those who live in a smaller town of Atyrau have to take a paper-based test or travel to another city. Unfortunately, test centers in some smaller cities only offer paper-based tests. If you can take a computer-based test, you'll get your results faster, in just 5 to 7 days versus up to 13 days with a paper-based test. Just note that if you take IELTS for UKVI to get a UK visa, all results take up to 13 days. Now let's talk about each section of the test, starting with IELTS Listening. Just to confirm, computer and paper-based tests have absolutely the same level of difficulty. The difference is only in the format of delivery. And I'm not gonna beat around the bush. The biggest advantage of computer-based IELTS listening is that you're guaranteed to have earphones. So you can make the recording as loud as you wish to hear everything and isolate yourself from other sounds. Some centers offer earphones for paper-based tests too, but some don't. In London, I took my paper-based test in a huge hall with loudspeakers and probably 100 other candidates. And I must say the quality of the sound was so-so. And I really had to concentrate to hear the recording. That's not good. If you're taking a paper-based test and you have several centers in your city, give them a call and find out which ones offer earphones. By the way, you can keep them on, earphones, for the reading and writing sections too. The next difference is the extra time after the test. The listening part lasts for 30 minutes. Then in the paper-based test, you get 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. That's a lot of time when you can check all your answers. In the computer-based test, you select answers directly and don't need to transfer them anywhere. Therefore, you only get 2 minutes to look through your answers. I find that that's just enough to check the spelling of words in the filling the gap questions and think about a couple of questions you weren't sure about, but not more. As for the answer selection, it's hard to say which format is more convenient. In the paper-based test, you can easily cross out incorrect answers or put question marks if you're hesitating between two options. In the computer-based test, you can't really do that. Yes, you're given a sheet of paper and a pen, but there is not enough time to drop the mouse, take the pen, take a note, and then get the mouse again. There is also an option to highlight words on the screen, but again, you need to click several times to do that. So in my opinion, there is no time for that in the listening section. That's a disadvantage. In the computer-based test, there are several ways to select answers depending on the type of questions. Sometimes you just click on the correct answer. That's easy. Sometimes you need to type a word or two while still listening to the recording. So if you don't type fast and have to look for letters, that may be a bit problematic. In some questions, you're required to drag your answer to the correct place. If you later discover that your answer is incorrect, you should be able to quickly get it back or replace with the correct answer. That's not a problem, but you should definitely practice using the computer platform before your test to learn how all these things work, because there will be no training at the beginning of the test. Luckily, IDP offers a free computer-based practice test on their website. I'll link it below. When you're taking it, remember that in the real exam, the recordings will play one after another. You won't be able to stop them or take a break between them. And there will be 40 questions, not 24 like in the practice test. In other regards, this practice test is the same. I'll remind you to take it later. Oh yes, and one more thing. If you're not sure about any of your answers in the computer-based test, you can click to review and come back to those questions in the 2 minutes after the test. Now let's talk about IELTS reading. To be honest, the first time I was a bit apprehensive about doing the reading section on the computer, but I was wrong. First of all IELTS centers I've been to were equipped with large monitors where I could see almost all the text and questions next to each other. In the paper-based test, you work in the question sheets and you have to turn pages quite often, which isn't perfect. Oh yeah, by the way, if you notice that on that print screen there was 41 questions in the reading section, that's a practice test and I have no idea why they added so many. You will have 40 questions. Another advantage of the computer-based test is that you can select answers directly on the screen. In the paper-based test, you work on the question sheets and then you need to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. But unlike in IELTS Listening, you're not given any extra time to do that. So basically, if you take a computer-based test, you have a couple of minutes more to find your answers. And time management is easier too. In the paper-based test, you have to control time yourself. You're not allowed to have your own watch. There is a clock on the wall, and you need to remember when the section starts to know how much time is left. Invigilators only tell you when you have, as far as I remember, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and 2 minutes left. If you take a computer-based test, the timer is on the screen and you can actually place your mouse above the timer to see seconds. We've already discussed that in the paper-based test, it's easier to underline words and cross out incorrect or used answers. But in the reading section, you can at least use the highlight function on the computer. And you can also copy-paste words. Just press Ctrl-C to copy and Ctrl-V to paste. But I don't want to raise your hopes high. Ctrl-F to find words doesn't work. What about IELTS writing? Well, the main question is, how fast do you type? I personally type faster than I write with a pen and definitely faster than I write with a pencil. And if you take your exam on paper, you have to use a pencil in listening and reading. In writing, some centers allow bringing your own pen, but some don't. And for me, writing essays with a pencil is a pain, like literally my hand is in pain. However, if typing takes you more time or you have to concentrate on the process of typing instead of thinking about what you want to write, you may be better off sticking to the paper-based exam. Of course, typing may be preferable if your handwriting is unclear and you think examiners may struggle reading your answers. There are some other considerations too. One of them is correcting typos. When we type, we make unintentional mistakes, so it's even more important to proofread your answers, which means that you need time for that. Of course, when you're proofreading on the computer, it's easier to correct things. By the way, if you're wondering if mistakes are underlined like in the Word document, the answer is no. There is no spell check. The two good things about computers are that words are counted on the screen, so you don't have to worry about that. And there is a timer at the top, just like in the reading section. If you like planning your answers on paper, you can still do that. Throughout your exam, you'll be given sheets with instructions for each section and a pencil, which you can use to plan your essay. I personally plan on the computer and then just delete my plan when the essay is ready. The speaking exam is the same for everyone. This is a face-to-face interview with an examiner. So, which test or which test format is more convenient? I think it depends on how confident you are using computers. If you type fast, it can give you a real advantage in IELTS writing, and you're guaranteed to have earphones for IELTS listening. On the other hand, if you have to think about how to use different features or look for each letter to type, then you may be better off with a traditional paper-based exam. Just try to find a center that does give earphones. I have a more detailed video demonstrating how to use the IELTS computer platform, and the computer-based practice test is linked in the description. I hope this video will help you choose the right test format for you. Thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam.